A top story, the Madurai High Court has upheld a single judge's order directing the lighting of the Karthigai Deepam at the stone pillar atop Tamil Nadu's Thiruparankundram in the city, bringing closure to a long-standing and contentious issue. The court observed that the district administration ought to have treated the issue as an opportunity to bridge the gap between the communities through mediation. It further held that since the hill is a protected site, any activity carried out atop must strictly comply with the provisions of the Act. Clarifying that the lamp may be lit, the court noted that public access to the ceremony will be restricted and will be subject to consultation with the Archaeological Survey of India, the ASI. The bench said that apprehension of law and order was an imaginary ghost created by state authorities for their convenience to put one community against the other under suspicion.
How do you look at this division bench verdict?
நாங்கள் இந்த நீதிமன்ற தீர்ப்பை ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமாக மகிழ்ச்சியாக நாங்கள் ஏற்றுக்கிறோம். ஏற்கனவே சிங்கிள் ஜஸ்டிஸ் கொடுத்த அந்த உத்தரவை டிவிஷன் பெஞ்சில் இருக்கக்கூடிய இரு நபர் ஜஸ்டிஸ் வந்து அதை ஏற்றிருக்கிறாங்க. கார்த்திகை தீபமானது மலை உச்சியில் இருக்கக்கூடிய அந்த தீபத்தூண் அதில் வந்து ஏற்றணும்னு சொல்லியிருக்கிறாங்க. அதை கோவில் நிர்வாகம் செய்யணும்னு சொல்லியிருக்கிறாங்க. ஸோ இந்த தீர்ப்பை நாங்கள் மதிக்கிறோம்.
He says, I'm happy, I accept and respect the division bench's order since they have ordered lighting of the Karthigai Deepam on the pillar on the hilltop. Single judge order had said the petitioner, you can walk through the hilltop and light, but in this case, no public or you will be allowed, only the temple ought to be doing this. Court, in a sense, upholding lighting of lamp on the hilltop pillar.
No, I just wanted to answer it in a proper way because the Tamil Nadu government intention not to restrict any lighting at the existing place or at the new place. They just they had a apprehension by creating a huge public and some political motivated persons and cause some disturbance in the particular area because on overnight it was created as a big issues, right? If we go into such aspect, the division bench has made it clear that Devasthanam allowed to lightning at the set place. It is one of the vindictive for government, Tamil Nadu government, I think. I feel like that.
Lastly, the court had some strong words saying that the apprehension of a law and order problem is an imaginary ghost itself.
I'm not feel in that way, because though there was a 144 order, some political persons have went to the top of the hill and make some. We had seen come across so many social media comments, right? So it is not an imagination one. It might be the observation of the division bench judgment. Might be division bench may not look into the social.
You are the counsel for a petitioner. Is your client, petitioner, planning to challenge this?
Yes, of course. We are advised our client to challenge the exact observation and for even lightning at the new places also.
We have made it very, very clear that the stone which is near Dargah is not something where you can light Deepam. It is a survey stone. We have said this, we have proved this in the court, but in spite of that, the single judge's order has been affirmed. We'll have to recollect what Mr. Amit Shah spoke about this Sabarimala verdict. When the Supreme Court passed a verdict stating that women should be allowed into Sabarimala, Mr. Amit Shah, the BJP, said we will not accept the Supreme Court judgment. Mr. Amit Shah said courts should not pass orders which are not implementable. So similarly in the Supreme Court in several cases, when it comes to religious issues, the court should loathe to interfere. This is the view of the Supreme Court. And this judgment is wrong.
It is the communal politics of the DMK. That is why we have been condemning the DMK because, see, it is not the political angle, Raghav. This is totally the DMK trying to woo the Muslim minority votes. And that is why we have been saying. So, this will definitely have a very big impact. This judgment will go a very long way in the history of Tamil Nadu politics because now people will understand that the DMK, the Dravida model DMK, has been doing this appeasement of minority votes. This is the problem.
First of all, I'm happy about the judgment. And two things should be mentioned here. One, the Hindu sentiment has been respected and the Deepam has been endorsed. It's Deepam because in between the government was confusing whether it is Samana Toon or some other things. They were contradictorily mentioning about the Deepam. So the court has come out very clearly. The Deepam belongs to the temple and Deepam can be light on that. One thing. Second, the government was doing politics in allowing the lighting of the lamp because they are of the biased activity. If they are really concerned about the law and order problem, they should not allow the Islamic celebration which was carried very recently after the Thiruparankundram issue.
All right, we've got to the initial reactions from the various parties who are stakeholders when it comes to the Deepam verdict and their stand on it. Now, let's just take you through what the Madras High Court said. I'm going to give you excerpts, the most important ones from that order. What the court said is earlier court verdict is valid, referring to the one from last year. Case has turned political. This was obviously a comment also on the Stalin government. District admin should not act to fuel conflict. Very important point there, which we will discuss with Veera Raghav and with Sam Daniel in a moment from now. Do not fight for lighting of lamp. Another very important and strong observation made by the court there. Issue politicized unnecessarily. Another point by the Madras High Court. Hard to believe that Deepam lighting will disrupt public peace is something that the court has also said. Apprehension of public peace disturbance is imaginary is another very strong observation made. Practice of lighting Deepam on Hilltop for all devotees to see, and temple Devastham must light lamp at Deepathun is the other point. No public to accompany temple Devastham to light lamp. This is one of the most important points made there by the Madras High Court. I have with me Sam Daniel and Veera Raghav. I'm going to go to Sam first, who was inside court when these observations and the verdict was passed. Sam, let's just first take our viewers through some of the very scathing observations made against the Tamil Nadu government.
To begin with, the court has said the apprehension by the authorities of a possible law and order problem if this particular pillar was used to light a lamp on the hilltop next to a dargah. The court calls it an imaginary ghost, and that the administration has failed over time to reduce the gap between these two communities, although they had a series of peace meetings. Secondly, the court also has said that while it has not gone into the question of evidence whether the pillar itself was meant to light Deepam or whether there was a tradition of lighting of lamp on this pillar in the past, since over the last 100 years it's being done at the other location on the other part of the hill near the Uchipalaya temple. The court has said it's simple knowledge that lighting the lamp on a hilltop at a vantage point helps devotees on the foothills and around the area to be able to clearly worship the lighting. And in that sense, there's no reason why it should be stopped, it says, particularly when the land, the pillar belongs to the temple, and that previous orders have ruled that the lighting can take place anywhere beyond 15 meters of the dargah. And then in terms of the order, the court has clearly ruled that the temple authorities ought to light the lamp during Karthigai Deepam festival in addition to the traditional place where it is lit. And in this case, unlike the single judge order, the lighting ought to be done by the temple, and neither the petitioner nor public can be allowed to go there. The Archaeological Survey of India has been ordered to protect the monuments on top of the hill and to evolve guidelines in terms of the particular lighting of the lamp there. In terms of other points, the court says that it is it's very hard to believe that the fear of the mighty state that lighting of the lamp at the stone pillar near the top of the hill within its territory of Devasthanam land on a particular day in a year will cause disturbance to public peace. It may happen only if such disturbance is sponsored by the state itself. We pray no state should stoop to that level to achieve their political agenda, it says.
All right.
And in terms of
Sam, I'm going to come back to you in a moment
the
from
order
now.
also says...
Veera Raghav also with us. Veera, I want to understand from you, there are aspects to this order, of course. One is the order itself. The other is the optics of what really will be the fallout of this order, especially in a year when Tamil Nadu goes to polls.
Well, three very important aspects in my mind, Vedika. A, it is a huge blow to the DMK because what the two-judge bench of the Madras High Court has upheld is that the lighting of the lamp has to happen at the Deepathoon. Remember, the Tamil Nadu government's argument is that it was a survey pillar, not a Deepathoon that is at the hilltop, and that the lighting of the lamp will happen only at the traditional place where it has been happening historically, which is near what's known as the Uchi Pillayar temple, which is not at the top of the hill, but at a midway point, and they had cited literature as well to that aspect. But the fact that the two-judge bench has upheld that the lamp will be lit at the Deepathoon, which is at the hilltop, is a blow to the Tamil Nadu government and the DMK legally. Now, politically, when you come back, and that's the second aspect of it, is that this will be used by the BJP to gain political advantage.
Yes.
But most importantly, what you must understand, Vedika, is that the lighting of the lamp happens at Karthigai Deepam, which is a festival which has passed. So the next lighting of the lamp by the temple authorities will happen next year. So for the moment, one could assume that the DMK has averted any kind of a situation or an escalation during this festival period. And also the impression of minority appeasement versus being anti-Hindu. So the accusation made by the BJP, that could be part of the narrative. But the most important aspect is the fact that there was an impeachment motion, there were questions raised on Justice Swaminathan, etc., which was not related to this judgment, but one that was in terms of optics triggered by this judgment. So there will be questions raised given that the two-judge bench has upheld that order of lighting of the lamp at the Deepathoon on what the DMK's political blowback will be on this. Remember, it's most likely that the Tamil Nadu government temple authorities are likely to challenge this order in the apex court. So the legal battle will play out. The political ramifications will be there, but it may not be an electoral issue in the coming assembly elections.
All right. Noted. I'm going to come back to you as well as Sam in a moment from now. I want our viewers to understand the big takeaways. Now, the big takeaways from this verdict, the first one being the court directs Deepam lighting on Hilltop pillar, which is being seen as a big win for Hindu groups and a setback for the Stalin government. The Deepam lighting on Hilltop along with traditional spot is another observation which is a part of the verdict. ASI asked to preserve monument and protected site is the third takeaway. Also, pleas against Deepam lighting have been dismissed, but yes, there is legal recourse, which the DMK spokesperson also spoke to Veera about, that they could access. And the last bit being no crowd allowed near the pillar. Very important point there. Sam Daniel with me live as well as Veera. Sam, coming back to you now, I want to understand if you've heard from the Tamil Nadu government or the temple management on this verdict.
No quick formal response yet, but there are indications that the Tamil Nadu government, particularly the temple administration, may decide to move the Supreme Court challenging the order. The official order has just come now, and they're going to take time to read it fully to understand, and then they would brief the government, take instructions from them. There are indications of filing an appeal, but we will have to wait for a formal word. Generally, going by the arguments the temple administration had made to the court during the hearing by the division bench in this case, the temple argued that the court cannot direct the temple where it has to light a lamp, and that the temple Devasthanam board abides by the Agama rules, and only according to Agama rules the lamp is being lit for over a century near the Uchipallayar temple on another part of the hill. So going by that, chances are the temple administration may go for an appeal, but we'll have to wait for a formal word yet.
All right, and Veera, I want to understand from you, this is not the end of the row, the controversy really. We don't know that there's a contempt hearing also coming up in the next few days on this issue. But understanding from you, Veera, this will not be the end of this controversy. You have the DMK coming out and saying this is a highly disappointing verdict. You have the BJP saying that this is on the slap on the face of the Tamil Nadu government. So clearly that face-off will continue, especially in a few days from now when that contempt hearing also comes up.
Well, no controversy ever ends, especially in election season. Erika, you are going to keep hearing about this. It will play out on the electoral fields as well. And as you rightly pointed out, remember, there is a contempt petition before the single judge bench and a challenge to that contempt proceedings before the single judge bench and a challenge of that contempt proceedings before the apex court as well. All of it was waiting for the two judge bench to dispose of the challenge by the Tamil Nadu government to the single judge bench order. Now, how the contempt proceedings play out will be very, very important to watch because the single judge bench's order was that the petitioner, along with a few people, be allowed to go and light the lamp. Whereas the two-judge bench has said that the Devasthanam or the temple authorities are allowed to light the lamp. The argument that's been made by the petitioner and the Hindu groups is that our petition and our plea to the court before the single-judge bench was that since the temple authorities were not doing it, you allow the petitioner to go ahead and do it. So our prime point was to establish that the lighting of the lamp can happen at the Deepatun. So symbolically, big victory for the petitioners at that time.
Yes.
But how this will play out before the contempt proceedings will be very interesting to watch. The question of dismissing the law and order argument of the Tamil Nadu government will also gain political traction and used in political discourse. But we'll have to wait and see what the next act in this, both from a legal point of view and a political point of view, is.
Interesting to see all these developments. Veera and Sam, thanks for joining us live. In a year when Tamil Nadu goes to polls, this of course will be one of the contentious issues, and we will keep a track on the first reaction coming in from the Stalin government as well as the temple management. Thanks for joining me live on Breaking Ground.